Hi there, Francis. Nice to see that you have sent us a task 1 for correction. Let's see what you did here. We've got the monthly users in millions of Facebook and YouTube in 2018. So let's see what you said here. This bar chart represents the number of users in millions of Facebook and YouTube during a year period in 2018. All right, that's fine. A year period is a little awkward. We wouldn't typically say it like that. You could have just said during the year 2018, or during 2018, or throughout 2018. Throughout was a great word because it kind of implies from the beginning to the end. Okay, so that's one thing there. Let's move on. Overall, the graph demonstrates a fluctuation for both platforms of social media in the year 2018. Facebook had the most number of users. It shouldn't be the most, it should be the highest number of users, reaching 6 months. That's awkward. You don't reach 6 months, but you reach over 100 million over 6 months. Okay, so you have to change the word order here a little bit. Let's try it again. Facebook had the highest number of users, reaching more than 100 million users per month in over 6 months, while YouTube achieved more than 100 million subscribed customers in only 3 of those 12 months. Okay, so do you understand how we change some of the word order around and some of the grammar? And whenever you have a number in front of a number word like 100, million, 1,000, whatever, you don't put an S on the end. Although the number of users of YouTube compared with Facebook was less during the year, this website achieved for 2 months the highest points in July and September. Let's see. What happened to YouTube in July and September? Okay. In addition to these 2 peaks of YouTube, almost reaching 150 units, you think you want to say each here. At the end of the year, this platform also had a substantial and steady rise, not steadily, from 50 million clients to 120 million. All right, what are you telling us here? You said that it had a low of 50 million YouTube. I don't see that. It didn't have a low of 50. It had a low here in whatever month this is. August, I guess. Where it was like 30 million. So I'm a little confused about that. Let's see. I can't move my mouse. Hold on a second. There we go. Almost the end of the year. This platform had a substantial and steadily rise. Okay, yeah. So I don't know why you said it rose. I'm not really sure what period you're referring to here. I mean, did it have 50 million at some point in the year? Yeah, it did. Did it go to 120 at some point? Yeah, but I'm just very confused about what period of time you're referring to here. So it's a little vague here. All right, so for Facebook, the major drawbacks were in the months of April and July, when the number of users abruptly dropped. What do you mean for? Do you mean by, or do you mean to? So if it dropped by 30 million, it means that if it was like 100, it dropped to 70 million. If you mean that it dropped to 30 million, then that's different. So it's unclear what you mean here. Meanwhile, YouTube went down approximately this number for 3 months. I don't understand that. What do you mean it went down this number? That's also a vague expression, so I'm a little confused by this as well. So essentially what we're dealing with here, Francis, is some incoherence in various parts of this where I'm not really sure what you're talking about. It's partially grammar, it's partially, vocabulary. I'm just not sure. I'm getting the suspicion here that you don't, you're missing some of the language necessary for task 1. So, this is holding you back, and it would keep you definitely from getting one of those better scores. There are a lot of ways to do this particular task 1. I'm not going to tell you there's only one way, but I do want you to think of it because it is a year, and what you're really looking at here is kind of like a snapshot of the entire year, and it's chronological. Think about it like a story. It's a story of social media use over a year. And when you hear a story, which parts of the story do you want to hear? You want to hear the beginning of the story, you want to hear the end of the story, of course, and then the important bits in the middle. Okay, the sections that are important to your understanding of the story. So what does that mean here for us? It means that you're absolutely going to talk about January, you're absolutely going to talk about December. It's really interesting to note here, I think, that Facebook was double YouTube users in January, but by December, this had really changed and YouTube users were considerably higher than Facebook users. All right, so that's kind of information you're going to want to point out here. I like what you said in the beginning about Facebook reaching over 100 million in 6 months out of the year, whereas YouTube only did this in 3 months. That was a good point. And in fact, it's a great idea to use these numbers along the sides to kind of help you group some of your information, because it is a lot of information. It's 24 pieces. You can't possibly talk about everything. So you really need to focus on the important things here. Okay, so for example, what are they? Let's see. Well, one thing you could do here is you could absolutely break the year in half, because it's a totally different ballpark in the first half of the year according to the second half. So what you could have said is, obviously you're going to talk about, January, as we talked about, and then you're going to essentially say that in the first half of the year, Facebook definitely had more users. In fact, in 4 months out of the 6, the users were between 100 and 150,000. And as far as YouTube is concerned, you can say that for the 3 of the months, it was around 60 million users. And then it went down for 2 months, and then there were no YouTube users in in June. Then you can say, you can have another paragraph here where you start with July, and you basically say that July totally shifted things around, totally changed things. And then you can say that here YouTube's popularity really took off with, YouTube being over 100 million users in July and September, and ending the year in December at whatever that number is. You could say, in contrast, Facebook's numbers were between this and this number, whatever that is. Okay, and then you're pretty much done. All right. So that's kind of how I would have organized this. But remember, you do want to talk about some of those important bits there, like the beginning, the end, and then this huge shift that happened here in July. Okay, and in June. That's a big deal. So I hope that helps. I really would like to see, first of all, I'd love to see what you're doing with task 2, how you're writing and what you're writing, and what kind of support you might need in your task 2 writing. So I really welcome you to send us another essay for task 2. But I also would really like to see you on the course so that you can get all the information you need on how to really tackle task 1 and organize your answers in such a way that you'll get a high band score, learn the different sentence structures, learn the different types of task 1s that you can come across. So let's see if that's something we can get you on, and I look forward to seeing more of your essays. So good luck to you.